Moving on, in a major setback to Islamabad, the global anti-terror financing watchdog, which is the Financial Action Task Force, last week decided to retain Pakistan in its grey list for failing to adequately investigate and prosecute senior leaders and commanders of UN-designated terror groups present in the country. Despite remaining in grey list of Financial Action Task Force for years now, Pakistan failed to comply with 27-point action plan. We have a report.
Pakistan continues to face global embarrassment for carrying a tag of terror-promoting state as it failed to convince FATF, the global money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog. Its hopes of being let off the FATF's grey list were dashed once again, as the 39-member grouping decided to keep it on the list and even added more tasks. By failing to prosecute senior leaders of UN-proscribed terror groups, Islamabad is yet to fulfill the toughest of the 27 conditions, due to which the Paris-based UN watchdog has not yet removed Pakistan from its grey list of countries which are under increased monitoring. Urging Islamabad to effectively act against terror funding modules and terror masterminds, FATF's President Dr. Marcus Player said that Pakistan will remain on the grey list till it addresses all items on the original action plan agreed to in June 2018.
Pakistan remains under increased monitoring. One key action item still needs to be completed, which concerns the investigation and prosecution of senior leaders and commanders of UN-designated terror groups. In addition to this, a separate process has been taking place over the past few years. Back in 2019, the FATF's regional partner, the APG, the Asia Pacific Group, identified a number of serious issues during its assessment of Pakistan's entire anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing system. Pakistan is still failing to effectively implement the global FATF standards across a number of areas. This means the risks of money laundering remain high, which in turn can fuel corruption and organized crime.
In June 2018, Pakistan was put on FATF's grey list and given a 27-point action plan to implement in order to be taken off the list. Failing to deliver all 27 targets at its last plenary meeting in February 2021, FATF retained Pakistan in its grey list and urged the country to complete an action plan to counter terror financing before June 2021, but it was saved again and now has been given another extension. This repeated story has also raised questions over FATF's credibility, for it has proven toothless against a terror state. However, FATF somehow noted that Pakistan had completed 26 of the 27 items mentioned in its 2018 action plans, but this was insufficient for removal from the grey list.
Pakistan has not done a number of actions, although they claim that they have worked on 26 points out of 27 points which FATF given them. But FATF is also quite clear that a number of persons and entities are working on behalf of the UN designated terrorists. So now they have catched on to say that you have not taken any action against them, whether it is financial action or it is investigation or it is actually punishing them. So that's one part of it. As far as blacklist is concerned, only 3 votes are required to save them from blacklist, which was expected. So as China, Turkey and Organization of Islamic countries, so this is, these 3 votes are assured. So they couldn't have gone into blacklist, but they were trying to get out of grey list, and rightly so, they have been put back in grey list.
With Pakistan's continuation in the grey list, it is increasingly becoming difficult for Islamabad to get financial aid from the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, Asian Development Bank and the European Union, thus further enhancing problems for the debt-ridden nation, which is in a precarious financial situation. Regardless of all financial issues, Pakistan continues to use terrorism as an instrument of its state policy. Days after a powerful explosion took place near UN-designated terrorist Hafiz Saeed's residence in Lahore, a Pakistani journalist has revealed that Saeed was indeed at home when the bomb went off and was the target of the attack. Despite being sentenced for jail term, Pakistan quietly shifted Hafiz to his house in Lahore from Kot Lakhpat jail, where he continues to manage Lashkar-e-Taiba. This revelation has exposed Pakistan's real intent towards terrorism. Whenever Islamabad has faced a decision on its grey list status, it carries out cosmetic actions against these leaders that appear to be aimed more at ensuring a better outcome for itself at the FATF. Its arrest and conviction of Hafiz Saeed, Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi and Masood Azhar in terror financing cases, the passing of anti-terrorism and money laundering laws in the Pakistan Assembly to bring them in line with the FATF-mandated international norms, and the publication of new lists of terrorists at various times, all were timed before FATF reviews of Pakistan's status in February 2021. Recently, the Pakistan government also approved new rules for the forfeiture and auction of properties and assets related to anti-money laundering cases and the transfer of investigation and prosecution of such cases from police and provincial authorities to specialized agencies.